Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. Don't forget to subscribe for the love of anime. Let's get started. Kinjur Sakamachi, a high school student, is painfully awakened by his younger sister Kureha Sakamachi to begin his day. Subaru Kono is initially perceived as a student who serves as Kanade Suzutsuki's butler when he first arrives at school. Gynophobia, or the abnormal fear of women, is something that Kinjur exhibits after an odd encounter with Nakuru Narumi. He finds Subaru in girls' underwear while cooling off in the restroom, which prompts Subaru to chase Kinjur to the chemistry lab and attack him because of what he saw. Kinjur leaps in to save Subaru when a jar containing a frog falls from the shelf, but after landing on Subaru's chest, Kinjur realizes that Subaru is a girl. In response, Subaru strikes Kinjur with a fire extinguisher, rendering him unconscious. Later, he awakens in the hospital with one hand free and is chained to the bed next to Kanade, who makes light of him. In order for Subaru, the only child of her generation, to attend high school and continue working as a butler, she must cross-dress as a boy, she explains, as the Kono family has served the Suzutsuki family through lineage. Kanade coerces Kinjur into signing a contract to conceal Subaru's true gender and help Kinjur overcome his gynophobia by endangering him with her sadistic behavior. Kinjur angers a fan group called the Shooting Star Subaru-sama, or the S4, due to rumors that he and Subaru are dating, but their efforts are thwarted by a defected fan group called the Serve Subaru Observational Committee. To help Kinjur overcome his gynophobia, Kanade makes him go on a fictitious date with Subaru at an amusement park. As an act of contrition, she also gives him a butler voucher, with a drawing of a sheep that can be exchanged for any order that Subaru will not refuse. Near the end of the date, Kinjur redeems the butler voucher and instructs Subaru to bawl like a sheep after winning a sheep plushie for her, but she soon begins invading his personal space and demanding more commands. When Kureha, who has been watching them, suddenly shows up, she thinks Subaru is a boy who is dressing as a girl. Kureha is easily defeated by Subaru in a fight, which makes her flee for her house. The following day, as Kinjur and Subaru grow closer as friends, they assist one another in keeping their individual secrets, gynophobia and gender identity, from being revealed during a school physical examination, despite the great embarrassment they are both forced to endure. Following their lunch together, Kanade shows up while Subaru is fast asleep and informs Kinjur that Subaru has at last made her first friend. Kinjur is shocked to learn that Kureha has fallen in love with Subaru when he gets home. Kanade arranges a double date with Kinjur, Subaru, and Kureha at the pool to resolve a conflict. Kanade and Subaru were once taken hostage for ransom as children, Kinjur is informed. A flashback later reveals that Kinjur was told by his hospitalized father Jur Sakamachi that his name, which contains the kanji character for close, means stand by me. Kinjur then saves a girl from drowning but passes out. When Kinjur awakens, Subaru gets a call from an odd man wearing a wolf mask who has abducted Kanade and Kureha at an unfinished structure. Because of her morbid fear of sharp objects, agmophobia, which she developed as a result of a traumatic incident in her childhood in which she was unable to protect Kanade, Subaru shivers when the kidnapper hangs up while holding a knife. As a result, she feels unqualified to serve as a butler. She is knocked out by Kinjur, who promises to do her any favors she may require. Until Subaru appears and defeats the kidnapper by herself, overcoming her agmophobia, Kinjur is unable to get a hit in when they first meet the kidnapper at the unfinished building. It turns out that Subaru's father, Nagar Kono, is the kidnapper, and that Kanade staged the incident to aid Subaru in overcoming her agmophobia, because she thought Kinjur would be able to relate to her. Later, Subaru beseeches Kinjur with tears in her eyes not to take any chances because she fears her first friend might get stabbed. Kureha, unintentionally revealing that Kanade was supposed to date Kinjur, interrupts their private moment. As soon as Subaru reacts angrily, Kinjur is forced to flee with Kanade from both Subaru and Kureha. With the start of Golden Week and Kureha spending 3 days at Handcrafting Club camp, Kinjur finally has a happy morning. Subaru, who is decked out in cat ears and a tail, shocks him by asking for a place to stay and to serve as his butler because Kanade's father temporarily expelled her from the mansion. Subaru does not want Kinjur to sleep in at the crack of dawn, so the two train in the gym to kill time. Kinjur chooses to take a bath by himself, but Subaru is adamant that he wash his back with him. This exchange is cut short when Kureha, who had to leave camp early because she broke her arm fighting a bear, notices Subaru's underwear in the laundry basket, leading to a brief misunderstanding. Kinjur suddenly passes out from a cold as Kanade also shows up and decides to move in with him and serve as his maid. This leads to a brief competition between Subaru and Kanade to see who is the better servant. Kanade finally explains the situation by taking him to the beach, where it is revealed that Nagar was also expelled from the mansion as a result of an ongoing argument with Subaru following the events at the unfinished building. This is after Subaru makes several dubious attempts to treat him. Because she wants to take care of Kinjur and avoid losing him to illness like she did her mother, Subaru declines to go back to the mansion. Kinjur persuades Subaru to make amends with Nagar and return to the mansion with him despite feeling queasy from a cold. At the conclusion of Golden Week, Subaru apologizes to Kinjur before departing, and Kanade remark that this is the first time Subaru has thanked someone besides her. After commenting that Kinjur no longer seems like such a chicken, Kanade gives him the first kiss she will always remember. On the way to school, a girl on a scooter runs over Kinjur, who then realizes the girl goes to his high school. When he asks if he could reach in there because his glasses are stuck in her thigh boots, she interprets it incorrectly and attacks him as a result. The girl knocks out Kinjur after he retrieves his glasses and introduces herself as Masamune Usami, a friend of Kureha from the handcrafting club. Subaru reveals that she found Kinjur unconscious in the middle of the street and brought him to school as Kinjur abruptly awakens there. At some point, Subaru asks Kinjur to go with her to the upcoming school festival. Subaru subtly interprets Kinjur's talk of wanting to redo his first kiss as being about her giving him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, while he was unconscious during the swimming pool incident. For the school festival, Kanade suggests the theme of a cross-dressing cosplay cat cafe, interrupting them in the process. Masamune later runs into Kinjur on the school roof and admits that she is an S4 member. She then demands that he date her for the school festival and uses the evidence of their fake date at the arcade as blackmail to undermine the observational committee. Soon after hearing everything, Subaru punches him in the stomach and runs off in tears. It is very embarrassing for Kinjur, but they later walk to the mall to buy Masamune a swimsuit. Before going their separate ways to their homes, they become friends. Nakuru is seen snooping on Subaru as the next day's school festival is being planned. Subaru interrupts Kinjur and Masamune during their pretend date at the school festival. They find Kureha, who is delighted to see Masamune, when they are drawn to an animal cafe. Kinjur is instructed to leave without her by Masamune, who is alarmed by Kureha's exuberant and carefree demeanor and realizes that he was not having fun on the fictitious date in the first place. Nakuru then calls out Kinjur, who reveals herself to be a member of the handcrafting club and the head of the observational committee while donning a sheep mascot costume. Given that Masamune lied about shielding Kinjur from the S4, Nakuru is aware that Masamune intends to undermine the observational committee. Subaru is informed by Kinjur that the two fan clubs are planning a meeting that might devolve into a conflict, and leave him in the middle of it. When Kinjur and Subaru join the observational committee at the meeting, they are shocked to learn that Kanade is a representative of the S4. In actuality, the gathering is a Subaru-themed pub quiz. Subaru reluctantly admits that Kinjur, who was present during the swimming pool incident, was the subject of his first kiss when the final question regarding Subaru's first kiss is posed. Masamune is discovered alone on the school roof after Kanade later tells Kinjur that Masamune resigned from the S4. Masamune explains that Subaru's personality changed from lonely to friendly when Kinjur entered the picture, because he can first relate. As a result, Kinjur confronts Masamune about his gynophobia and introduces Subaru and Kanade to her as her new friends. The following day, Masamune makes a promise to help Kinjur overcome his gynophobia, but she must first feel at ease with him calling her by her first name. Kanade explains that she ran away from the mansion because her parents decided to go on vacation abroad, and Kinjur later finds himself in a hot springs resort after being drugged by Subaru with a drink made by Kanade. As a cover story, Kanade allegedly told the innkeeper that she was planning to elope with Kinjur, but Kinjur is aware that Subaru and Kanade's true goal was to assist him in curing his gynophobia while they were at the beach. Kinjur is surprised to see Kureha, Masamune, and Nakuru working at the beach cafe when he goes there to buy a drink, but this is only because a shark chased them away from their camp. When Subaru and Kanade arrive close to the cafe, Kinjur orders Subaru to put on glasses and Kanade introduces her as Panyuro Takanashi, Subaru's a cousin, in order to conceal her true identity. Kanade, who insists that she and Kinjur are eloping, accuses Masamune of interrogating Kinjur for spending time alone with her. Masamune reveals that the previous day she cooked meat and potato stew for him at her house and held on to him while donning a bikini, but she also disbelieves such a thing because she trusts Kinjur as her friend. When Subaru hears this, he becomes upset and flees. However, when Kinjur catches up to her, he explains that Masamune cooked for him as a favor for the fake date and tried an intimate approach to cure his gynophobia. Subaru punches him in the stomach for exaggerating the details, but Kinjur stands by his explanation. Nagar arrives as Kanade is inviting all the girls to stay at the resort with her and plans to take Subaru and Kanade back to the mansion. However, the two pressure him into letting them stay by threatening to call the police for allegedly kidnapping Panyuro, which leads to Nagar letting them stay. Kinjur then observes Subaru with a dejected expression on her face as she looks off somewhere. Kinjur enters the men's bathroom to calm down after having trouble falling asleep due to the girls nearby, but Subaru joins him as she hides her gender from prying eyes. Nagar also enters the men's room, forcing Subaru to hide behind Kinjur. After being persuaded that Kinjur only views Subaru as a friend, Nagar departs. Nagar, who believed Subaru was in the men's bathroom after discovering women's underwear in the men's dressing room, charges at Kinjur, but Subaru stops him and knocks him out. She accidentally reveals her body to Kinjur, who she humiliates by knocking out as well. The following day, Subaru plays the part of Panyuro once more as Kinjur and the girls go to the beach for some fun before going to the summer festival. Kinjur is directed to the cemetery where he finds Subaru at her mother's grave after Subaru later vanishes from the summer festival. Subaru recalls how her mother used to worry about her not being able to make any friends when she was a child. Kinjur hugs her and asks her to formally introduce him to her mother. The next day, a paintball competition is held, and the winner receives a kiss from Subaru as Panyuro, who previously won a beauty pageant. After consuming a soda, which gives her the ability to quickly remove their clothing, Nakuru defeats Masamune and Kureha. Kanade is declared the winner after using a pair of glasses to entice Nakuru away and then knocking Kinjur unconscious. Subaru awakens Kinjur, and the two of them watch the summer festival's finale fireworks together. Kinjur, who is used to his daily life being crazy, is anticipating a crazy semester as summer vacation comes to an end. Subaru and Kinjur intend to keep their friendship going, but Kinjur wants more. Kinjur is forced to take a part-time job at a maid cafe in order to pay Masamune back for the summer homework she borrowed from him. Kinjur remembers Subaru, telling him to ignore what she said about wanting to be more than just friends after the manager makes fun of him for being Masamune's boyfriend. Leaving Subaru behind, Kanade travels to visit Kinjur, but Masamune is not at all happy to see Kanade. Kureha and Nakuro also show up to assist at the maid cafe, further complicating things. Subaru, who must work there part-time, is frantically looking for Kanade when she is mistaken for a waitress at a butler cafe. When the manager checks on Kinjur after he wakes up, Kanade creates drama by claiming that Kinjur has a kink for maid outfits. Kinjur faints after tripping and grabbing onto Masamune. To test that theory, Kanade coerces Masamune into raising her skirt and showing her garter belt. Subaru is relieved when she finally locates Kanade to drive her back to the mansion, but when Kinjur catches up to her, she explains that all she really wants is to be his best friend. When Kinjur returns to the maid cafe, Masamune invites him to stay and offers to let him copy her notes whenever he wants. When Masamune's phone falls to the ground accidentally, Kinjur finds the customized ringtone she had set for his contact number, but when she finds out, he flees. Masamune's home, where Kureha spends her 16th birthday with Nakuru and Masamune, turns out to be haunted, much to Kureha's concern. Kurika is relieved though, when Masamune gives her a poster of Subaru and Nakuru gives her a pair of glasses. Masamune is unable to handle Nakuru and Masamune's romantic parody of a spoof involving Kinjur and Subaru. Later, Subaru and Kanade are waiting for the three when they arrive at the maid cafe. When Kureha receives a birthday cake and the waitresses sing her a happy birthday song, she is delighted. For her 8th birthday, Kinjur gave her a brown teddy bear, she recollects. She then engages in a game of an original arcade video game with Kanade, featuring the playable characters Kinjur and Kureha. Kureha remembers that Kinjur came to the playground to take her home for her 10th birthday after a fight she had with her mother. Subaru and Kanade then took her home. On her 12th birthday, Kinjur spent the entire day playing video games with her. On her 13th, he took her to a dairy ranch for ice cream, and on her 14th, he burned firecrackers in the backyard with her. Kureha, however, was upset when Kinjur disregarded her 15th birthday in favor of a day-long concert event. Kureha strives to be more independent after realizing how supportive Kinjur has been of her throughout her childhood. She is shocked to find that he remembered her 16th birthday and sent her a white teddy bear as a present to make up for the error from the previous year when she gets home. The new semester has just begun, but Subaru is still thinking about Kinjur. Masamune nearly runs Kinjur and Subaru over with her scooter as they are both walking to school. Kanade provides Kinjur and Subaru with a delectable lunch to share. Subaru gets a little tipsy from the white wine in the food, and Kinjur is shocked when Kanade rubs sauce on his neck and asks Subaru to lick it off. When Kanade starts to experience an episode of hiccups, he first takes Subaru to the hospital before also bringing her there. Because they make her so adorable, she can't help but hiccup constantly, which has in the past led to major chaos in the mansion. Kanade gives Subaru the go-ahead to get the supplies needed for the hiccup treatment, giving him the opportunity to woo Kinjur. However, Kanade pushes his way out and runs into Subaru. The three continue down the hallway after Kanade appears to have stopped hiccuping, until Kanade unexpectedly trips and hurts her ankle after falling down a flight of stairs. Subaru accuses herself at the hospital for not being able to stop Kanade from falling. Kanade insists that Subaru must continue to serve as her butler even after Nagar arrives to relieve Subaru of her duties. Kinjur follows Subaru as she runs away from her sin and ends up at an overpass. Subaru runs away after thanking Kinjiro with a kiss, which leaves Kinjiro passed out with a nosebleed. Masamune wakes up Kinjur on the overpass, and he remembers that Subaru watched the fireworks there during the summer vacation. She then offers to drive him to the inn of the hot spring resort. Subaru wonders if Kinjur would do more than just kiss him as they spend the night there. He interprets it incorrectly, thinking she was talking about making love when, in reality, she just wanted to be in bed with him. The two are picked up by Kanade the following morning and taken to their residences. When Kinjur asks Kanade where Subaru is when he gets to school, he is shocked to hear that Subaru has changed schools. But while Kinjur has to accompany Kanade to class, Subaru shows up at the school dressed as Panyuru. Subaru acknowledges over lunch that she prefers being a butler to being a typical girl. In light of this, Kinjur takes a calculated risk by asking the S4 to collect signatures on petitions in order to reinstate Subaru as a butler. Subaru returns to her role as Kanade's butler the following day, during which time Kanade fabricates a lie about Panyuru switching schools once more. Later that evening, Subaru calls Kinjur and takes him to the park to express her gratitude. She then forcibly kisses him. Then Kinjur passes out from a nosebleed and wonders how long their adventures as a chicken and an unsure butler will last. Kinjur questions the inclusion of a yaoi magazine in his hidden collection of magazines under his bed. When Nakuru unexpectedly knocks on his door, she makes it known that the night before, she slept on his bed. The story is told in a series of flashbacks from Nakuru's perspective. While taking a bath, Subaru notices a camera flash coming from the top of a building next to the mansion. After running over there to investigate in an effort to conceal her identity, Subaru learns that Nakuru is the photographer. Nakuru reveals to Subaru at the Butler Cafe that the picture was difficult to read, because she needed to sell one to fund the publication of her yaoi novels. When Kanade arrives, she gives Nakuru some photos of Subaru dressed as a butler to sell. Later, Nakuru has Kureha and Masamune assemble copies of her yaoi novels at Kinjur's house. Kureha grants Nakuru and Masamune access to Kinjur's room in exchange for some photos of Subaru that Nakuru uses as payment, at which point Nakuru places the yaoi magazine in the stash with the other magazines. Later, Subaru and Kanade arrive, and Subaru quickly staples the books. When Nakuru asks Subaru a question that hasn't been answered, she pauses. Later, Kureha and Masamune go undercover and follow Nakuru to different locations, including a book fair where she sold out of all of her yaoi novels, and they notice that she was looking at romance novels. They later discover that Nakuru was viewing romance novels. Their plan is exposed when they come to the conclusion that Nakura might be in love, but Nakuru is still hesitant to tell them. As the flashback comes to an end, Nakuru asks Kinjur on a date to a boardwalk. There, she eventually admits to having a problem with her breasts because she previously rejected a confession from a boy, thinking that was the reason. Nakuru develops feelings for Kinjur as a result of his unwilling agreement to assist her by putting up with close physical contact, forcing him to flee out of embarrassment. And that's all for now. See you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.